Hello, welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I was inspired to do a card because in the UK at the moment, every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, we all go outside and we clap for our NHS workers and all the other frontline workers that are out there. And it's a really encouraging message to everybody that we can all get through this. And with all the clapping and things, I thought I wanted to do a card that I could send with I've got some friends who are knitting little hearts, and they send 2 hearts through to people who are in hospital at the moment, and 1 heart goes to the person in the hospital and 1 heart goes to the family, because you can't go and visit anybody at the moment. So I thought that I would do some of this, or a card that can go with some of these hearts that I'm knitting and crocheting at the moment, and friends are. So the stamp sets we're using, we're going to use Wonderful Moments. This is on the retiring list, so if you want it, get it now rather than later. And we're using the girl and the balloons. We are using from the Happy Tales the little outline heart, and again this one is it's in the sale, so it's a really good price as well in the clearance, in the retiring list. And then we're using Make a Difference. This one is one that I get out to do words that I can't do with anything else. So those are the 3 stamp sets we're using. We're using I'm going to do a blue background, and so the base measures for me 5.5 by 3 3/4, and the mat measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. So it will just have a 1/4 inch border, but however you lay out your cards, I know international is slightly different. So we are going to start with the girl. And I'm using Memento ink because I'm wanting to colour it in blends. And Memento is water soluble, blends at alcohol, and it just makes it a little bit better. So we're going to put her down at the bottom. Let me just line that up a bit. So we're just going to put her down at the bottom. Like that. And then let me just get my Simply Chamois out so I can just clean that off as we go. Simply Chamois get absolutely filthy and stained, but they still clean absolutely perfectly. So again, something I use all the time. So that's the one we're doing out of there. We then need to take the balloons. So let's put that one down and we'll take out the balloon. The nice thing with this is that the balloons fit. You can see her hand, and there's a gap in these balloons so that they fit perfectly in where that little little space is. So it looks as if she's actually holding it. So let's you might see my head bobbing in because I need to try and see this under my lights to get it as accurately as I can. It might not be perfectly accurately, but we'll try and do it the best we can. There we are, that's pretty good. And then we are going to have the sentiment from the same set, which is thank you so much. So from this one, thank you so much. So we're using quite a bit from this set. This set is going to be available until the beginning of June, or while stocks last. They always say that because as soon as the retiring list comes out, people tend to buy them up really quickly. And once they're gone, they're gone. There are no more stocks of them because they have to make room for all the new stuff in the new catalogue, which is available to customers from the beginning of June, And if you are a demonstrator or you fancy being a demonstrator, you can get it well before then. You can get it and actually get some pre-order the beginning of May, so next week sometime, which is all rather exciting. And I will obviously bring you the details as and when I can. I obviously can't bring details and things until June time, but rest assured there will be lots of videos and things for you to give you ideas and inspirations of some of the new products that are coming out. Okay, now we're going to go over to the other stamp set, which is the hearts, and we're going to take this little heart here, and I want to have 7 because that's going to be the rainbow. Again, over here in the UK, we are putting rainbows and on fences, windows, all sorts of things to just show our support for our critical care workers. So I just want to do, I'm going to do them fairly sort of randomly. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As I say, I want them to be fairly sort of just running down the side so I can do those in a rainbow. So that's the only thing we're using from Happy Tales. There is a punch, so you could actually punch it out in cardstock if you wanted to. But and there's a fill-in one as well. So if you wanted to fill them in with ink, you could do it that way as well. But I'm actually just going to use the blends for this. Then we're going to go to Make a Difference. And we can take from there. Make a Difference is quite a difficult one to read. So I actually did a list. If you look back through my videos, and if I remember, I might put a link. There's a video that I did to help people be able to decipher some of these ones. The capital ones are quite easy to do. So I want N. There's an H. Okay, so let's take them out. So we want H. We want S. And we want an N. L, M, N. The N's right in the middle there. Let's get my N out. Okay. So we'll start with the N. Now these are very tiny. So it's an idea to get a little piece of scrap first. In fact, I've got a little tinier piece of scrap. And just so that before you put them out, you work out that they're the right way up. So that way up or that way up. I think probably it's that way up, isn't it? Yes, that way. Okay, so now I've got it the right way up. I'm going to put N inside the balloon. So we've got N in on that one. Then we're going to put, I will clean them off afterwards. Then we're going to put the S. And again, like with all letters, they look better one way up to the other. So I always try and stamp it on there that way or that way. Okay, so the second balloon, we're just going to put the S in there. And then on the little last, oh, I've done it the wrong way round, haven't I? I should have an H there. That should be an H, which is not very good. I'm going to have to cut a little piece out of there. Let's put the H in on here. Okay, sure that's the right way round. Yes. So I want the H in the middle. I'm going to have to just do a little, right, let's do a little, there's never any mistakes in card making. So what we can do is, and this might work quite well, we're going to take these little balloons out. And I've got a little scrap piece here. So let me put those ones in here for a minute. I want the balloons to just come in on there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them on like that, and then we are going to have them so that they come set up on dimensionals. That will work, won't it? Okay, so let's take this N out again. Stamp it on here to make sure it's the right way round. It's always very difficult to see with these sometimes. Okay, ding, ding, ding. That's the better way up, I think. So we'll put this one on here, N. That's better. Then we want the H, National Health Service, NHS. And again, whatever you want to put on the inside of your balloon, it's entirely sort of up to you. I just wanted to have something that donated or recognised our wonderful NHS workers. And as I say, the clapping, I certainly know it's through Europe. I don't know whether it's right the way across the world, but it's every Thursday we go out and we clap, and everybody in the street comes out, you know, everybody in the houses, people come out and they have klaxons and bang pots and pans and all sorts of things, and so you know it's really rather good. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a sorting out of this one with the balloons, and I'm going to colour those ones first. So I want the balloons to be in a blue to donate the NHS. So I'm just literally colouring the balloons in the blue. So they're all going to be in blue. You can do them whatever colour you want actually, but I just thought that they would, as it's got NHS on it, I wanted to have the blue on there. Okay. And as I say, those little hearts, you could cut those out or punch those out and then have them standing up. Okay, so that's those. And then we can just very quickly just fussy cut those out. It won't take a second. So let's go in round on here. My little scrap. So you can always fast forward these bits of the video. I do everything live so you can see roughly how long it takes to do different things. And I know some of you like to just listen to me chatting away and finding out how I'm doing and how you're all doing. So I have some lovely people right the way across the world that leave me lovely comments, and it's always nice to receive comments from people. As I say, we don't meet physically, but we meet virtually, and it's lovely having a community of people who are all crafters, and you know, who enjoy that sort of crafting community. It really is a community, you know. We get together in real life when we can, but you know, with my videos I'm able to talk to you most days, and even though you're not there at the time I'm doing it because it feels as if you're there, if that makes sense to me. Okay, so I think we're just about done on there. And then that can then go very nicely just set up. That's perfect. So that'll give a little bit of height on there. Okay, so we need to do our rainbow through on here. So we need a red. So I'm using cherry cobbler on here, and I'm not sure whether this one, yes, the top does come off of this. So just move that out of the way. So I'm just going to colour in the inside of this one in the cherry cobbler, because as I say, I wanted a rainbow. So rainbows are 7s. So we've got a red, which is the cherry cobbler. You could do Poppy Parade or any of those. Then we're going to use dark Daffodil Delight. Oh, I tell you what, my hands do struggle to get the lids off these sometimes. And they do sometimes come up. There we go. Sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. And I sit and struggle and struggle and struggle. They're supposed to get easier with use, but I think if you have slight dexterity problems, it's not always the easiest. Okay, so now we need orange, so we can use the dark Calypso Coral. And I like to use the bullet point because it's easier to go into small spaces, so that's the only reason I'm using the bullet point. So we've got our red, orange, yellow. Then we need a green and a blue. So green, let's use dark Granny Apple Green. Colour this one in. Lovely. And then we need a blue. So we're going to use the blue from the NHS colour blue, or the blue I'm using for this. So you can use any colours you want, actually. You know, if you have different people you want to recognise, then put different colours on. Then we want a purple, so let's use the dark Gorgeous Grape. There, and then I think I'm going to use the dark Rich Raspberry, because I think that'll work just in on the... Oh, that's not going to come out that way. Let's do it that way. As I said to you, some of the older blends do tend to take the middles out, and I'm not very good at getting the middles back in again. So as long as you do it in tiny little dots, then that just fills in. Okay, so we've now got our rainbow in there. We've got our NHS bits in. So we've just got to do her... Let's do her hair first, and I'm going to do that in light crumb cake. So that's an easy one to do. I'll just colour that in on here. Like that. And then we're with the... It's a very light, which is this one. What colour is this one? Petal Pink. I don't even know if we still have Petal Pink in there, but I'm using it for this one, so because it gives a nice sort of skin tone in on there. Oh, I've done all down her arms, so she's got bare sleeves. That'll work anyway, won't it? So I'll have her with bare sleeves on this one. And on here. Do down on her legs. I might colour in those sleeves in a minute because I'm rushing, you see. Try and rush things through. Okay, so I need to remember her shoes. Now, what are we going to do her dress and things in? I think I want to do it in something fairly sort of cheerful. So let's do a, we'll have a bright pink top, so that is, what colour is this one? Dark pink pirouette. So as I say, any dark blue that you've got, that doesn't come out that side. So we're going to have a top in this colour, which is quite a nice bright pinky colour. I am going to do those sleeves down. So she's got a pink top, and What are we going to do? Her skirt. I think her skirt can be in... Do I want it pastel? I want it quite bright, actually. I think I'm going to do it in light Bermuda Bay. Well, that's a bit extravagant, isn't it? But hey ho. Can I get that one off? Yes, I can. So let's hope that that goes through on there. Colour that through. The tip on this one is going. It's the only thing with all of these sorts of things, they don't last forever, so you have to keep replacing them, and I'm a bit frugal at the moment, so I'm not trying to replace too many things. Okay, so put that one back in there, and then I've got the darker one which I'm just going to do for her belt and her shoes. See if the top of that one will come off. Yes, it will. I can get the bullet point on there. So her belt's going to be darker and her shoes are going to be darker. And there we go. And I could do a little bit of shadowing on here, couldn't I? That can go in there. So I can just take a little bit of, do little lines along the side, then as they dry, just give a little bit of shadow in there, which looks quite good. I could have done it in the top, but I did the top in a different sort of colour in there, so just gives just a little bit in there, which will work. And okay, so we can then put this onto the base like this. So that's onto my blue. Then I've got my little balloons, and I'm going to put my balloons up with dimensionals. So let me get some minis out, because I think the minis will fit perfectly. So there we go. So we'll just stick one in the middle on there, which will cover those two, and then one in on this one. As I say, the minis are so good because you can put them onto little tiny spaces, and because they're this hexagonal shape, you can sort of fiddle them around so that they work where they want to. And then we can put this balloon in so that it comes exactly where we want it over the top, and that just gives a little bit of height on there. So it's a very simple card, as I'm making fairly simple cards at the moment, because you don't need a huge amount of supplies. You just need the things that you've already got, and most of us have got some of these ones. And as I say, you've now got some lovely hearts. Now you could, if you wanted to, just take it and do the whole thing in a rainbow of hearts. So I've seen that, you know, swirl the hearts up. You could just do the lettering if you wanted to, and you could put the lettering by the hearts. So you don't have to have the exact stamp sets. You can play around with the idea. But I think that this one here, which is the Make a Difference, is really good because it has tiny small lettering in there, which is lovely. It's also got lots of other things, and it's got our Angel Policy Stampin' Up stamp in there as well, which is always very important if you're selling your cards and things. These are going to be given away, but I always put the Angel Policy stamp on the back of everything anyway, so it just covers just about everything. So thank you so much for watching me. I do hope that you are all staying safe and well. Carry on doing so, carry on staying at home, and look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye-bye.